Welcome to this short Volleyball New Zealand video on the rule of reaching. Reaching is not covered by one single rule in the rulebook, but we can start by looking at the easiest applicable rule, which is when playing the ball, each team must play within its own playing area and space. Let's look at some examples. As you can see here, the setter is jumping above the net, and part of the ball that he is touching is on the opponent's side of the court. It's in the opponent's space, so this is a reaching fault. Another common example with the setter is when the ball is overpassed and the setter one hand sets the ball to the middle like this. Looking at the replay, we can see that clearly the setter is playing the ball in the opponent's space, and this should be called as a fault. Sometimes the setter will set the ball too close to the net, or, as in this case, over the net. If we go back to the rulebook, one of the restrictions of the attack hit is that contact must be made within the player's own space. As you can see on the replay, the spiker here is hitting the ball in the opponent's space. We do have to be careful though, because the rules do say that a player may make contact with the ball in their own space and after their hand may pass over the net. On this replay, you can see that the spiker hits the ball in his space and after his hand just passed over the net. So in this case, play would continue. Here, the setter has set a high outside play and set it over the net. The spiker reaches over and is contacting the ball on the opponent's side, which again is a fault. Let's talk about blocking. In the rulebook, it says a player may block beyond the net, provided that this action does not interfere with the opponent's play. Let's look at an example. The setter is going up to play the ball, and the blocker has reached over the net into the setter's space and interfered, so this is a reaching fault. Here's an example from an actual game. It's very important to note that this is only a fault because the blocker interfered with the setter as he was trying to play the ball. If the setter had not jumped to try and set the ball, this would have been a legal play by the blocker because he wouldn't have been interfering with the setter. We should quickly cover the hand signal because it's often confused with the attack hit fault. The reaching fault on the left is the arm horizontal above the net. You use the arm on the side of the court of the team which committed the fault. The attack fault on the right is similar. It ends with the arm horizontal above the net, but starts vertically. Again, you use the arm on the side of the court of the team which committed the fault. Finally, as is the same for any of the rules in volleyball, don't blow your whistle unless you are certain a fault has been committed. For example, was there a fault in this play? Looking at the replay, maybe the blocker is touching the ball in the setter's space. Maybe the setter is touching the net. In real life, we don't have the luxury of a slow motion replay. Remember, only whistle a fault if you are certain that one has occurred. We hope that this has helped. Good luck with your officiating.